What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access, and today we're joined by Del, the Funky Homosapien.
What's happening, y'all?
Thank you for coming through, sir. So, Del, man, you have a long storied career, and you've worked with some of the biggest artists in music history. And I wanted to take it back, all the way to the back, to when you were first getting started and working with Cube, getting down with I Wish My Brother George Were Here. So with that, you had obviously been writing before that with Cube as part of the Lynch Mob.
Yeah.
So how did you, not being from Southern California, fit in when you started writing with those guys?
It wasn't hard for me because, for one, the stuff that I was kind of writing, well, as far as writing is concerned, it was more for YoYo, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe for Cube at times.
Okay.
So it wasn't too hard to switch to that because it's not like too crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's alike enough, you know? As far as how they are, I was always in LA anyway.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like my whole family on my mom's side is from LA. Well, they from the South, but you know, everybody migrated to LA.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm out there like every summer. That's how I know Cube, you know what I mean? Because I'm out there like every summer. He was one of my favorites that I used to like and go visit, you know what I mean? Because we was kind of close in age, kind of had the same kind of, you know, likes or dislikes or what have you. So that, I mean.
So how did it come to where you started writing for YoYo?
It just kind of slid into there like that. Like it just was an opportunity, and it's something that he offered for me to keep me kind of get my feet wet in the industry, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what I figure, you know what I'm saying? Give me something to do while I'm waiting to put out my own stuff.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Put a little bread in my pocket, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously they don't need nobody to write for them, but like,
Right.
you know, they just let them do something so we can see what it is, you know?
And then what did you find was it different as your career has progressed, writing for a woman or writing a female perspective, or how did that work?
Well, it wasn't hard for me because I could, for one, I kind of knew her, you know what I mean?
Okay.
For two, I just put my mind into, you know, that situation. I could do that, you know? I'm around women a lot, you know what I'm saying? I grew up around a lot of women, you know what I'm saying? A lot of girls I used to have as friends, so. I mean, friends for real, like I talk to them about stuff and I know things that they thought about it, and you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
not trying to chase booty or nothing, just on a platonic level. So I just felt like I kind of understood certain things.
Okay.
But that goes for even with Cube too, you know what I'm saying? Cube is in a different environment and stuff. But it, you know, anything you toss to me, I could kind of imagine. I feel like that's one of my
Gifts.
I don't want to know if I say gifts or a trait.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, of my personality. I'm able to relate to people.
Yeah, and I think that's been one of the defining things with your career is being able to showcase your diversity with a different type of artist you work with, but also like the subject matter, the eras, the types of music. So what do you think it was as a kid or as you developed as a person and as a songwriter that's enabled you to do such disparate things?
That's just my personality, I guess. A lot of this stuff, you know, you don't really plan these things. You kind of just fall into these things by chance when the opportunity arises. A lot of it, I guess, over time, people started to like my work, you know what I'm saying, or like working with me. So a lot of times I might get requested, you know what I mean, just off of that. You know, I build a reputation and people kind of just go with that. Okay, let's work with him. We heard that he's easy to work with or he's cool, or they start to peep my repertoire. Oh, okay, he probably could do this. Maybe such and such wouldn't be able to handle it, but Del probably could handle it, you know what I mean? So that's how a lot of it works out, you know? But I feel like I'm just good at just, you know, put me with Prince Paul, and I could get with what Prince Paul is doing. I'm not going to try to disturb what he got to do on the production tip. I like Prince Paul for what he do. I'm sure that whatever he do gonna be dope. I ain't gonna complain about it too much. I'll fit whatever I'm doing to what he doing. So that's just the way I work.
And do you think that comes from maybe getting in the game initially as a writer first, as opposed to an artist, to where you had to like carve yourself out like that?
Nah, because I was an artist really before. Like, I was writing for Cube, but I had already been doing stuff for a long while. Like, I've been rapping probably since like 4th, 5th grade. You know what I mean? Like, trying to make little tapes and, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It might have been over LL Cool J, Rock the Bells or whatever, but now it still was that.
But you did it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and I let people hear, like, so around town and stuff, people already started to know me. I've already been known for making stuff. So I already kind of had my own identity anyway. Like, actually, once I got with Cube, they kind of had to, like, shape it a little bit because I was way all over here. Like, I was off the hook.
So what did they shape?
They had to take some of the illness out of it, you know what I mean? Because it was just too crazy. At the time, I didn't really understand. I'm like, why? But now I get it. Like, the average person, you can't just be beating them over the head with so much ill shit. It's going to be like, okay, we get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much. You know, for somebody like me that's a head, I'm like, yeah, the iller, the better. You know,
Give me an example, like what was going on?
I mean, okay, I had a song called Concrete Trampoline. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but why? You feel me? Like, now the average person will probably see that title and be like, what the fuck is this shit about?
Right.
Like, even though you could kind of imagine and kind of think what it could be, they wouldn't find that funny probably. They'd probably be like, this is stupid as hell. You know what I mean? Like, I can't relate to it. This is imaginary. You know what I mean? So he was just like, man, think about it like if you talking to somebody out here on the block.
So then how, that being said, then with the album though, you still do have a lot of stuff on there, like Mr. Dabalina, just the name. Like, how did that conversation go to where they're saying no to Concrete Trampoline, but Mr. Dabalina, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, how did that work?
Well, for one, I guess because it was catchy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about something, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm talking about some guy or some situation.
Right.
It ain't just cryptic ass battle raps, basically, because that's basically what I did. That's all I cared about was skills, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that was, you know, that was a story. It kind of had a little bounce to it like a song. I approached it like a real song.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't thinking about being the hardest rapper or nothing. I tried to make a song with that. So that's probably why that worked. It was ill, yeah, it's kind of crazy, but Dabalina came from the Monkeys, so they was already kind of ill too, so, you know what I mean?
Okay. And then I also think on the album, you had so many amazing concepts and things like with the Rapid Transit, with dark-skinned girls. So for you, what made those things that were very unusual at the time to rap about something that you wanted to embrace and do songs and explore on those levels?
Man, I'm trying to think, were they things that was really not addressed or talked about, or is that just, I think it was just my take on it, you know what I mean? Like something like Dark Skinned Girls. That was about like something like School Days was kind of based on.
True.
You know what I'm saying? The concept. But I just didn't have no nicer way, I guess, at the time to address it than just be like sarcastic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just trying to get on people's nerves or whatever.
Gotcha.
So that's how that came out. Some of them just was tossed out by Pooh.
Okay.
Like Money for Sex. He had the beat and he was like, hey, Dill, hey, I got this track called Money for Sex. You want to try to do something to it? And then he play it, Money for Sex, ring it up. Tling! When I heard the tling, I was like, okay. And then I just went to the hotel where I was staying at that night, wrote it, came back to the studio. Let's go, you know what I mean? We just worked real good like that. So some of it, I would say a lot of it just be tossed to me like a concept. Do it about this, okay.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But if you left it up to me, it would just be eating MCs or whatever, the whole.
So is that with no need for alarm? How did that shape, how did your experience on I Wish My Brother George Was Here shape the next phase of your career?
You know what? Now that I look back, what it really was the peer pressure around me from people I went to school with. That's what kind of made me switch and just be like, okay, I'm going this way. Because everybody was probably jealous, you know what I'm saying, that I had a record out or whatever. So they was like saying my record was fake. I sold out. This is pop. This ain't what we heard you do before you came out. You know, I'm known for something else, you know what I mean? So that just like discouraged me and, sent me into a depression basically. And I'm like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, I gotta prove to people what I could really do. And that's why I went so hard with No Need for Alarm and just went the way over here.
Right, right.
Like, I could rap for real. I'm hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, looking back now, that's what it was. At the time though, I couldn't have told you that. I just felt bad for some reason. And I think I was overseas, like in Europe or something, and just kind of thinking, reflecting, and then it just hit me like, that's why I was tripping? Cause like it just seemed stupid at that point. Like I was tripping off them, they was hating actually.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence, thanks to gangster rap. Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores now.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.